We're about to investigate a special year calendar that was developed by the ancient Maya. Do the codes acknowledge the speculation that the world is coming to an end? No matter what you are, a believer or a non-believer, you are about to be surprised. In a few minutes, however, you should appreciate the depth of the Bible codes. We find the term year calendar in the Torah at its minimum skip of -5 at the heart of a matrix that will be developed to explore its significance. What is the guidance that we can learn from it? The Torah codes refer to the woe the Mayan calendar supporters predict, as well as what should be our reaction to the message. At the center of the matrix, from left to right, we can see the term year calendar. At the center of the matrix, this time from the bottom up, we have 4 letters that are part of a longer term spelling the Hebrew year of 2012 to 2013 that starts in mid-September 2012. When we look at the entire vertical term, we may interpret it to say that in that year a tragedy will occur. The tragedy implied here is associated with sleep, which may mean putting to sleep, as we refer to mercy killing of animals. When we read the vertical term in the opposite direction from top to bottom, we get a confirmation that we are dealing with a calendar and a storm. In Hebrew, if we put the word mountain before the word storm, as it appears in this matrix, we get the message of a volcano mountain. It refers to a violent force. The term here refers to an appointment marked in the calendar that refers to a destructive force. We now have 3 multi-letter terms suggesting destruction in the Hebrew year of 2012 to 2013. It certainly appears that the end is near. But please, pause to read. But wait, there is another opposite message that we must reconcile. Can they both be true? Let us now look at almost the same terms and a completely different perspective. By adding only 1 letter to the vertical term at the end, at the top, the term takes a completely different meaning. It is no longer they or the people that will be put to sleep. It is the woe that will be put to rest. For a whole year before the anticipated event, people will discuss the woe. However, overnight they will realize that this scare, such as others before, was pure nonsense. As we develop the alternate explanation, we still have the term a year calendar. But now, the truth begins to surface. A suggestion is being made that the truth is being twisted. The new green term tells us that the truth was torn to pieces. The matrix explains that the storm is the appointment calendar of a nation. It certainly created a stir. The vertical term may be read in different ways depending if we choose to add 2 more letters at the end. The letters are Taf and Yud. The implication is that I caused the storm. For example, I, the Maya nation, caused the storm in the nation of the USA, or I, God, created the storm with the Mayan calendar to bring awareness to mankind, etc. The term at its simplicity can be read as a nation that its appointment calendar made a storm, a wild storm. If the message that the truth is being distorted is not clear enough, the matrix continues. The only distraction is the distraction of integrity, honesty, and the truth. We will get to the Maya term soon, but we did establish the calendar and distraction terms. We are getting closer to the reason the codes address the Mayan calendar. So what is the truth? What is the story about the Mayan calendar? Let's start with a new central term in the same matrix that will be extended later. In the meantime, it will be highlighted within a yellow triangle. The word here is not distraction, but rather wickedness. This green term has two meanings. In both cases, the masses are being captive or captivated by wickedness. The first variation states, the nation was happy, however, if it fell captive, it will have wailing. The second variation states, the people were happy, except that the nation fell captive to it, to the wailing. The wickedness is to go after other entities as opposed to go in the ways of the Master of the Universe and his promises. By what are the masses being captivated? By a rumor that is a lie. A lie that... Here we have two versions. A lie that the Master of the Universe hears, or a lie that was rumored. In both cases, they got used to it. It caused drooling. Shall I be afraid? The majority to the trap. Shall I be afraid of bitterness being imposed? Please note the similarities of the three key words between the verse in the book of Job and in the matrix. The three key words are rumor, death, and destruction. It must be noted that the Bible opposes any kind of rumors. If one believes in the Master of the Universe, one should fear no evil. We just introduced two terms, labeled 2 and 3, that were intersected by the woe term. Note how the first 8 letters of each term are being shared. Here we see the two terms with the 8 letters being shared, circled in blue. This term tells us, cursed be the man that maketh a graven or molten image, an abomination unto the Lord, the work of the hands of the craftsman. Not believing in the Master of the Universe, believing in others, is the verse that shares letters with the other three terms. It is a curse to fear an imminent destruction. We are about to see another interwoven term with the terms already seen. The truth interwoven with the lie. There is some truth to the Mayan calendar, but what is told is not the whole truth. The truth and lie were interwoven by the media. The truth and lie terms are also interwoven in the matrix. We already saw most of this term before. By adding a letter, we get a fascinating message where the truth and false have much in common. We can now see 3 letters being shared by the truth and false terms. Note the black arrows showing the letters that are being shared. The reference term, woe, wickedness, was seen so far at the center of the matrix within a yellow triangle. For clarity, the entire matrix is not shown, however. the reference term will always be shown to see the relative position of the new terms. In Hebrew, the term torn to pieces can be an adjective or a verb, depending on where the dot in the red circle is placed. The two terms may be read in four different ways. A truth was torn to pieces. Woe, wickedness! From a truth that was torn to pieces. Woe, wickedness! Woe, wickedness! From a truth that was torn to pieces, etc. Note that the term a truth was torn to pieces perfectly bisects the term woe, wickedness. The wickedness shares a letter also with the term below, cursing the person that worships a graven or a molten image. This is also considered a twisted truth. Sharing a letter, three terms are now telling a story. We fell to a trap, to a rumor, a lie, from the truth that was torn to pieces. Be ashamed, you will be cursed, the wicked is being warned. The object of the message is not to believe in other entities, as other terms in the matrix will explain. Here the new term 8 states, you shall be cursed, yes, be ashamed. You put to shame the truth, the master of the universe. The wicked person was warned, it was documented. Note the two terms shown share the letter Taf. The third term sharing the letter Taf is shown below. It is circled in red, the Taf. The two curse terms are highlighted in yellow. Also, the two wicked terms are highlighted in yellow. Here we see two warning terms highlighted in yellow. By extending the term truth was torn apart, the matrix is wondering why do they yearn to listen to rumors from unreliable sources? The term explains that the truth is torn apart because it is different from the word of the master of the universe. The sign is bad, it is evil. It can be read as, from the master of the universe, it is different. Your sign is bad. Finally, it can be read as, from the master of the universe, your sign is different, it is bad. Note that the horizontal term, truth torn apart, joins the terms different from the master of the universe and be ashamed. Here we can see the circled letters pointed out by the black arrows. The terms were connected by sharing letters. We now come to the famous Mayan calendar before we reach the Maya terms. We will see that by the sharing letters connections that it is the Mayan calendar that draws all the criticism that we witnessed. By extending the year calendar term that we saw before, we get three versions of the new term. The master of the universe is saying, a calendar is with me, or the master of the universe is saying, a calendar is my sign, or he is saying, it is my signal. The Maya perished, however, some of their mark on earth survived. Injustice also survived. It is not clear yet from the codes developed so far who is responsible for the injustice. It is clear, however, that the Mayan calendar plays a role. The association of the calendar with the end of time is injustice. Did the Maya introduce that idea? Or is it later generations that created such a rumor? It is really irrelevant from the perspective of the codes. We mustn't fall for rumors of old or new lies of our time. The term states an injustice survived them, where them implies the Maya. The injustice is tempting us to believe in others rather than the master of the universe. Note that the injustice shares a letter with term 6, which is referring to idol worship. In Hebrew, the term avel, or injustice, can also be read as all or burden. The new meaning of the complete new version of the term means that the Maya left us with a burden of not falling for the trap that their calendar states that the end of the world will be in December 2012. The burden is to be strong, not to be tempted with negative thoughts that contradict the master of the universe's directives. How and why does an injustice survive? It will happen when we are being misled by those who twist the truth. In the words of the Matrix, from truth torn to pieces. In idol worship, the handiwork of the craftsman is twisting the truth about who is the master of the universe. Note the sharing of letters connecting the three terms. So, our master of the universe is telling us that he alone is the master. And now we are being asked, is the Maya the master of the universe? No, be ashamed. Or, to the Maya, for your information, no, be ashamed. In the words of the prophet, blessed is the man that trusts in the Lord, and whose trust the Lord is. This is the second time that the Matrix is suggesting to be ashamed to trust the Maya. The first term, number 8, was, you shall be cursed, yes, be ashamed. The master of the universe said it. The wicked person was warned. The next term makes an interesting use of the term heart. Maya, you rule their hearts from them. You stole their hearts in the past with the human sacrifice. The heart was carved out of the living person. Ruling the heart or stealing it is defying logic and defying the master of the universe's instructions. The Bible warns us in Numbers 15:39, and that ye go not about after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you go astray. The Maya was plagued by the master of the universe. Perhaps the heart, which they abused to inflict pain to their victims, was the instrument for their own downfall. The fear in one's heart is a plague. The Matrix is telling us that the fear was their plague. The fear will hit, plague them, woe. And Maya the Mighty is plagued by the master of the universe. The Maya plague term is connected to the term, you shall be cursed, yes, be ashamed. Note that the two terms are connected by the common letter A. We already seen the terms from truth torn to pieces and destruction of integrity. Here we have another term stating falsehood. They gave false promise about the curse. Notice the sharing letters by the three terms. Each term shares a letter with each of the other two terms. The three long terms bring one message. The message: you were warned. Be ashamed. You gave false information about the end of the world. That fear will plague you. The mighty Maya was plagued by the Master of the Universe already. It is the Maya's teachings and the interpretation of their calendar that the Matrix addresses. The Maya's teachings were the sins of old, idol worship, and man-made idols. The interpretation of their calendar is an extension of idol worship. The Matrix is telling us that the Maya, they taught the sin of the old world. But who is they? Obviously, the Matrix may refer to the Maya, but it can also refer to those who suggest that it is the Maya who delivered this message. The Matrix does not support nor denies that possibility. At the same time, the Matrix is reminding us that cursed is the man that maketh a graven or molten image, an abomination upon the Master of the Universe, the work of the hands of the craftsman. The association of the two terms is seen by showing of the letter He circled in red at the center top of the matrix. The matrix is telling us in the surface text and in a coded form, do not have other masters of the universe. Term 13 is telling us, do not have other master of the universe. Are you going to the Maya for answers? No, be ashamed. Or more directly, is the Mayan God for answers? No, be ashamed. The surface text in the matrix is telling us to trust our Master of the Universe and we shall be blessed. In contrast, the green code within the surface text is warning us not to go astray. The Mayan entities are not the Master of the Universe. We must listen and obey the one Master of the Universe who instructs us on how to behave. In return, we will be blessed wherever we are. Doomsday will not come if we follow his ways. The Master of the Universe is telling us in the Matrix that a calendar is with me, or a calendar is my sign, or a calendar is my signal. In the Bible, the Master of the Universe designates on his appointment yearly calendar the dates to celebrate. Destruction is warned by giving time to repent, and those that listened were saved. Salvation is promised to occur, and it has not yet occurred. The Mayan calendar is a true scientific calendar. Its advertised implications, however, are not valid. It is truth torn to pieces, lies based on rumors, as the codes indicate. To believe in the end of the world based on the Mayan calendar is equivalent to believe in a graven or molten image. To believe in the Mayan calendar is to deny that we have a merciful Master of the Universe who keeps his promises. The codes are telling us that the interpretation of the celestial event in 2012 as perceived by some as the end of the world is wrong. The codes are not suggesting that year 2012 will not be significant. On the contrary, this matrix is a fertile ground to show why we are approaching a very special time. The difference is that there is no indication of the end of the world. This emphasis on time will be presented in a later YouTube video. Apparently, scientists today confirm that there is truth to the scientific presentation that the Mayan calendar displays. The scientists, however, do not deal with the speculations about the meaning of its cycle. In the Bible, we read often about cycles of the year and their significance. We have daily prayer cycles, weekly Sabbath cycles, the various yearly holiday cycles, the 7 and 49-year cycles, etc. The Master of the Universe designated the times for signs and reminders. In this matrix, times and signs are prominent. For presentation purposes, let us look at the first term as the central theme of this matrix. Oh, year 2011-2012. Note the word year in this term. It will be repeated as part of other terms in this matrix. The next year term is from year 2011-2012. The third term is in year 2012-2013 will be a sign. We now look at the terms indicating that the Master of the Universe uses as true, reliable signs and wonders. From the Master of the Universe, your sign is different. It is evil. It is bad. A year calendar is my sign, the Master of the Universe. And year 2012-2013 will be a sign. For a sign and wonder. We started by indicating that there is some evidence suggesting that the Mayan calendar has a message. It followed by terms suggesting that we are getting only rumors and lies. We know from the Bible that the Master of the Universe uses the heaven and earth for signs. He stopped the sun to help Joshua, he put the rainbow to indicate there will be no more flood, etc. The codes are telling us that starting the current Jewish calendar year, and especially next calendar year, it will be a special time. They do not specify a single day. In this table, you may obtain information about the skip, statistical significance, and location of the terms in the previous matrix. The Maya saw the heavenly bodies in the sky and understood their movements. They may have known that year 2012, or the Jewish calendar year of 5773, is a special year. The Torah codes disagree, however, with the interpretation of that significance. However, there is an indication that the year 5773 will be for a sign and wonder. All the terms here were already seen. You can match each term by color to the next matrix. Here you can see the geometry of some of the same terms in the matrix, as well as their relative location.